This shouldn't take too long. I've already explained direct object, indirect object, predicate nominative, and predicate adjective. Now, just to show you how the Reed-Kellogg system diagrams it. A vertical line, he read the book. All right. Read, the action of reading, it goes, he read what? He read book. So that vertical line, stopping at the baseline, I think this is sometimes called, indicates here comes a direct object. The line that separates the subject from the predicate goes all the way through like a plus. He wrote the book. It could have lots of modifiers. You could have modifiers here. You could have modifiers here. This could be compound. He read the book. It would go like this, the book and the magazine. I suppose I could show you that now. He read the book and the magazine. It could be compound. Now, an indirect object. He wrote a letter. He wrote a letter. Letter is the direct object. Wrote is one of those verbs that can take an indirect object. He wrote me a letter. Now you could say he wrote to me a letter, or he wrote for me a letter. Now you diagram it like this, as if the to were there. He wrote to me a letter. That indicates an indirect object, and it could also be compound. Of course, he wrote you and me a letter. That could happen. You treat it as if it were, you put it underneath a simple predicate, as if he wrote it where or why. That's where you should place it. You don't put an X here usually. Sometimes you could, but you shouldn't. I don't think. A predicate nominative. Now, a predicate nominative is going to go with a linking verb, and it renames the subject. He is a farmer. Well, farmer, he. There are some languages, maybe many languages, that actually don't have a word like that. Black English, for example, often will just not have that word at all. He, a farmer. That sounds funny when I say it, but it's clever the way Reed-Kellogg designed this so that that line, instead of being vertical, I always imagine that there's an arrow there going back, because this renames the subject. Frank Antison is a farmer. It could, of course, be compound. Now, a predicate adjective is diagrammed the same way. The flower is good. But I chose to use the word smells because I want to make sure that you realize that there are other linking verbs beside the 8 forms of the verb to be. The flower smells good. Now, see, if you said, well, doesn't that say how it smells? Well, if it answered the word how, it would be an adverb, and you could say the flower smells well, which doesn't really work. But if I could use this as, it becomes important in grammar to get this right, especially in the study of Latin, and I think German too. If, let's say, I didn't take a bath, well, I smell bad. I smell bad. Or I did take a bath, so I smell good. I smell good. But let's say I have a cold, and my nose is blocked up, and I can't really smell. Well, then I would say, I can't smell well. I smell well now because my nose is cleared up. In that case, I would say I smell well. Well, I don't know how clear that was, but in any case, there are certain verbs, linking verbs, that are not. I could go on about them a little bit more, I think, but I guess I won't. There are just certain linking verbs that don't take a direct object, but rather they take what's called they take a predicate adjective. Good flower. The flower smells good. The flower seems to be good. It is a good flower. This is a tricky example of it. Maybe I just should. A simple example would be, I am stupid. Well, there you go. That's a form of the verb to be. Stupid would modify I. And that takes care of it for this week. Monday, I'll pick this up again, and as I look into the future, I suspect that I cannot quite finish syntax next week. It will be very close, but I think I'll have to spill into the next week just a little bit. Well, I certainly hope you come back on Monday.